Hey everybody, Brannon Beliso here. Good morning, good morning. Good morning everybody, and happy Valentine's Day. I just celebrated 10 years of marriage, and I've learned, and I'm learning, things get a little bit simpler. It's not all the pomp and circumstance that went along in the beginning, but what I've learned, it's really about the little things. Remembering to get her cup of chai tea every morning when I'm out and about. She's teaching right now, my wife. So I'll get her a cup of chai. I'm very mindful to do that. My wife is an amazing woman. She never asks for much, so I love giving her everything. So she's got all her bangles, her diamond tennis bracelets and earrings and necklaces. And for Christmas, I bought her a brand new car. And I paid for it in cash. I don't say that to brag. I say that because I'm very proud. I share that story quite openly. I grew up poor. We didn't have much. So Christmas, birthdays was something we didn't celebrate. And I don't blame my dad. We didn't have much. We didn't have any money. So I love to give. And to be able to give freely without having to check how much I'm spending and stuff is really kind of cool. Kind of cool. So that's why I love to give my wife as much as I can, for the simple reason that she doesn't ask me for anything. And I think that's what makes one of the reasons why I love her so much. Yeah. So, today's entry, I'm just smiling because I do. I'm a very lucky man. I'm a very, very lucky man. So with that said, do one thing at a time. I'm just about wrapping up a book called The One Thing. If you want to read a great book, read The One Thing. I don't know who the author is offhand. But it's really taught me, because I'm the multitasking kind of guy. My head's in the clouds. I'm always creating things, and I have to create based upon being in the mood. And that's not always the best way to approach things, because then things will get done when you're in the mood. And so I love the art of self-discipline, because discipline teaches me to always do my best. Not only when it's fun, not only when it's convenient, not only when I'm in a mood to do so. Discipline teaches me simply to always do my best. But I can't do my best if I'm multitasking. The term multitasking originally came from where? Computers. Computers are designed to multitask. Hey, a lot of people here. What's happening? Katie, Johnny, Don, Umar. I can't scroll up, so I can't see the rest of the list. But multitasking was a term developed in computer technology because computers can do more than one thing at a time, while we as human beings cannot. If we really want to be effective, especially as an entrepreneur, where you don't have a supervisor, you don't have somebody telling you what to do, I think it's even more crucial that we manage our time wisely. And one of those things is just simply do one thing until it's done. Okay? Do one thing until it's done. I am Eric. I'm a very blessed man. I really, really am. I really am. So I got to pinch myself sometimes. Going, just since you said that, Eric, the dynamics me and my wife share are really cool, because I am that creative. I need to create. I need to change the world, and where her feet are more grounded. She'll bake the cookies for the kids for Valentine's Day to take to school. She's on the PTA. She's the nuts and bolts, meat and potatoes, where I tend to be more like the frosting on the cake. I don't know if that came out right, but it is what it is. So doing one thing at a time has been very, very crucial for me in the past couple of months especially. I finished one book, then I finished my children's book, and both are going to be launched. I finished, I haven't finished. We're almost done with the website. Then we're working on a second website for the rebranding of One Merit Badges to Kids Love Life Skills. I think it's very, very important. Hey, Carlos, what's happening, man? So if we can learn to do one thing until it's done, we offer ourselves a better chance of success. Do one thing really well, and half-assing everything. And I've spent days doing that. I do half of this project, half of that project, half of that project, and it really is counterproductive. It really, really is. So I know there's so many things we need to get done in a given day. The here, open the door, take the money, teach the classes, pick up the kids, eat healthy, exercise, all those things. But those there things, if you're not always looking at your business 3 to 5 years down the road, then you're going to be exactly where you are 3 to 5 years down the road, and that's probably where you are today. So part of really what facilitates that is doing one thing until it's done. I mean, if everything else can wait, right? If everything else can sit there and go for days and days and days and days and days and days and days until it's and still be undone, then why can't we simply do one thing until it's done? Those other things will wait. So do your list, prioritize what needs to happen, do that one thing, whether it's writing a system, whether that's, tightening up procedures, doc, whatever the case may be. It really is the goal to do one thing until it's done. And I promise you, if you can simply do that, it's going to change dramatically. I know it has for me. Cool? So what do I got coming up? Going skiing tomorrow. But next week I will be in Cozumel, Mexico, February 23rd and 24th, speaking at the the President's Summit. The President's Summit with Randy Reed and Master Clark and Melody Schulman, Dwayne Spires, Erica Martin, Greg Horton, Randy Holman, some real heavy hitters. So I'm going to have the opportunity to learn some more as well as share. So that's pretty cool. The following week in Dallas, Texas, March 3rd and 4th, I will be at the COM event. So if you're out in Dallas, Texas, and you want to hear me speak and learn, there'll be a lot of great speakers there as well. I think a lot of these Korean martial artists who are multimillionaires fly under the radar, and they're pretty amazing. So I learn a lot when I'm there. Hey, yep, that's right, Carlos. 1% every day adds up. 1% every day eventually becomes 100%, right? And then I'll also have my own event. It's called It's Time Live, presented by Rainmaker Membership Systems. That's in April. Now, people are a little bit confused. They said April 8th through 11th. Wow, you're going to talk that much? No. We have April 9th. A lot of people flying just for that Sunday. I know a lot of the school owners have to be back at work on Monday. So they fly in Saturday, and they do the half day of It's Time Live. Then they stay all day Sunday and fly out Sunday night. The event is only like 10 minutes from the airport. So those of you who have to teach on Monday, it's a very, very easy transition. But a lot of people, which is really nice, we have them from Germany, Malaysia, Sweden, Canada, Virginia. They're coming in for 4 days, from the 8th through the 11th. And that's a very intensive 4 days with me. We do mastermind walks, roundtable discussions. We do physical training. We go over systems. We break down the curriculum. And I really try to get to the source and why that they're probably successful, but why they're not at the level of success that they believe they deserve. Cool? That's very important. So we're going to work on that as well. So we only have 20 spots left, which I'm grateful to say. And the event's in April, and we only have 20 spots left. That's pretty cool. So if you want to get signed up for that, go to brannonbeliso.com/itstime/live. All right. So who's got any questions for me today? Learning to block and manage our time. Yeah, blocking out that time, Don, is important, and it is, really. I mean, I can sit in this car and talk to you for the next 3 hours, and my morning will be gone, right? So I'm mindful of that. But fortunately, I can say by the grace of God that, the flexibility in my life is important. There's so many teachers out there, and they're not necessarily the guy who's driving the Bentley, with the multi-million-dollar company. You'd be amazed. Sometimes I'll stop and talk to a mom or a dad or a small business owner in this community, and I will learn so much. I learn a lot because my mind is open to learning. I don't live from a fixed mindset. I live from a growth mindset, and I want to grow. I need to grow. I have to grow. So my mind's open to that. I'm always looking for that. So I learn a lot from a lot of people. So don't just think the guy with the New York Times bestseller, Fortune 500 company is the only person you can live from. I know lots of people with a lot of money who I wouldn't listen to at all. At all. So be very mindful of that. I think life can often be a series of missed opportunities. And if my eyes aren't wide open and I'm totally awake, I could miss out a lot of things. I've said that before. I see so many people walking around with their eyes wide open and they're totally asleep. So I want to be ever mindful of that, to be present in each and every moment, everything around me, so that I can fully embrace what life has to offer me today. I can fully embrace the gifts, the lessons to be learned, that are right there in front of me. Like Dorothy learned in The Wizard of Oz, you don't have to look any further than your own backyard. You would be amazed how many answers and solutions are sitting right there in that parent that sits there twice a week, watching their child train. How many solutions are right there if you just reach out and ask your teams? How much learning you can do, through those different things. Cool? If I have multicolor belts, is rotating curriculum will work? Splitting them is not an option right now. Yeah, if you can't split them right now, and that's really where rotating curriculum came from originally, Adina, was so one person could teach more levels. Absolutely. It doesn't matter what color belt you have. What you really want to do with the rotating curriculum is separate them to no more than 3 belts if you can. 3 belts. So all 3 belts, because they can be close enough in skill level. Like we do, year 1 has 3 belt levels. Yellow, yellow, orange, and orange. So everybody fundamentally is at the same skill level. But if you're trying to put 6, 7 belt levels in one group and you got a kid who's, a junior black belt with a kid who's brand new here today, that will not work. That just simply will not work. The cross-age bracket, or in this case, I would say the cross-age belting, would be 3. 3. You could do, as long as they're within a year, because the physical curriculum has to be challenging enough for that student who's at the end of year 1, but it can't be overwhelming for the kid who's coming in after 3 months of white belt who just earned his yellow belt. And that's something I'll cover it. It's time. I'm going to go into that a little further. I really, 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 really want you to invest in rotating curriculum. And instead of teaching you what is rotating curriculum, I'm going to show you how we do it, step by step. Step by step, because it works really, really well for us. We're at 920 students between 2 locations, and managing that curriculum and administering that curriculum to 920 people is really, really hard. But we managed to do it successfully, so I'll share that as well. Next question. Hey, Matt, what's happening, sir? Next question. What do you have for me, folks? Anything? Mark. Man, people coming aboard. You got it, Adina. Yeah, rotating curriculum will work for you really, really well, especially in your situation. You're pretty much a one-person show with your husband. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Anybody else got a question before I get out of here? Get my morning tea, and my morning tea for my wife as well. Type it in. So, we talked about doing one thing at a time, just to summarize. Do one thing until it's done. If I can say anything about time management, do one thing until it's done. Because if you can do one thing until it's done, you offer yourself the opportunity. Let me move this out. You offer yourself the opportunity of being very successful. Carlos, I know you said no more than 3 belts, but how about a rotating curriculum with all color belts when you're doing age-specific? Well, if it's age-specific curriculum, then, so be it, no matter how you want to slice or dice it. I just found, if you got 6 belt levels together, Carlos, right, and you got 6 belt levels together, it's fine, because we do it in our Excellent Kids program. I think it works okay for preschool and a kindergarten program. I think it works fine. But once you start getting in those upper ranks, I'm hard-pressed to believe you can put a 3rd year, a brown belt, let's say, a brown belt, Carlos, with a yellow belt. Say both those people are 6 years old, and that brown belt's been there for 4 years or 3 years since he was 3, right? And that other kid is brand new, and they're both 6 years old. I'm not sure that can work, right? You're saying it's age-specific? I don't know if I'm following that. You got to explain that a little more. What I'm seeing when you say that to me, Carlos, I have a 6-year-old white belt, and I have a 6-year-old brown belt, hypothetically. I'm not sure how that would work. Because you've got multi-belt levels, and it's age-specific. Okay, let's see. All 7, 8, 9-year-olds together, so when a friend is referred, they're in the same class as friends regardless of color belt. I don't know. Say I've been doing martial arts for 3 years, and I refer a friend, okay? So that friend comes to class with me. How does that work, Carlos? Because I have to be working on 3rd year curriculum, correct? So if I'm a 3rd year student, I should be working on 3rd year curriculum. But my friends, they're brand new. The curriculum is 2 years. And no traditional forms until they graduate. So they earn a black belt in 2 years? Or you're saying after 2 years, then they go into the traditional program. Yeah. The bottom line, Carlos, you can do it any way you want, sir. All I would do is look at the data. What is data showing you? Is the school growing? Is your school growing? Is that program growing? Is your youth karate program growing? And if it is, Carlos, yeah, then so be it. Do whatever you want, man. Do whatever you want. There's no right or wrong way. You know me, I'm just very passionate about being a critical thinker. I'm very passionate about people discovering what works for them, not what somebody else tell you should do. I think it's really important to know that. And if it's working and your active student count is growing, Carlos, who am I to say, right? Just be happy with it. I would always challenge myself. Am I serving people at the highest level? Am I producing the best learning environment for everybody involved? And if it's working well for you, Carlos, and your parents are happy and your retention's high and those trials are converting, then you've got a winning formula. Yeah? So are all those things in place? Low attrition rate, high conversion rate, parents are happy, students are satisfied. Those are all the elements into growing your school. Is that the case, Carlos? Cool. All right, keep those questions coming in. If you don't have anything else for me, I'm going to pack it up and pack it in. Hey, what's Tatiana? What's happening? So as I shared, you guys want to come out in April to It's Time Live with me, Brannon Beliso. There's only 20 spots left. I promise, I'll make your brain bleed. But it's going to be with innovative content. If you've been to It's Time Live before, it's going to really, 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 really blow your mind. I've learned so much. We have Eric Shields coming out, because I believe if you own your website, you own your success. I have Sam On coming out. He is my financial guru who does so much for me, who's taught me so much about finances, improved my portfolio. He owns one school with 100 students, and he's a multimillionaire. Go figure that. He learned early on to take the money he made, put it into the stock market, invest it properly, and, it's working well for him. Cool? What else you got? Anything? All right. Go to brannonbeliso.com/itstime/live. Get signed up. There's 20 spots left. Come watch my culture. See the way our classes run. Watch my team deliver the goods, because people's minds are blown. No contracts, no upgrades, no offices, no program directors, no enrollment fees, no belt testing fees, to the tune of $1.8 million last year. You got to see it to believe it. This is Brannon Beliso. Hey, until we talk again, remember you heard it here first. Thanks for listening. Remember you heard it here first. Yeah. If it works for you, Carlos, it works, man. That's a good thing. I love it. I love when people find their own way, not my way, not someone else's way. I'm just so excited when people find their own way, because you, Carlos, are a critical thinker. I promote thought leaders. I promote that, and I can't say enough about anybody that figures it out for themselves. You know why? Carlos, you are the architect of your business. It's your space. It's your race. It's your life. You fail on your terms. You succeed on your terms. And in the words of Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. Cool? All right, folks, until we talk again, you go out there and live your best life.